The night it all began is etched in my memory like an old scar. I remember watching from the shadows as our village, Okoba, celebrated the Yam Festival. This was our biggest gathering of the year, a time of joy, laughter, and thanksgiving. But little did we know that this night would set fire to the delicate peace that had bound us together for generations. As the drums pounded and the dancers moved in the flickering firelight, two men stood apart from the crowd, locked in a fierce argument, Adebayo and Olamide, the sons of Oba Adigun, our wise and revered king. The two were as different as day and night. Adebayo, the eldest, was steady and thoughtful, the one groomed to inherit his father's title. Olamide, the younger, was bold, full of energy, and quick to act, qualities that made him loved by some and feared by others. Their rivalry was a long-standing thorn in Oba Adigun's heart, but tonight, it grew into something poisonous. I watched as Olamide's voice rang out, his words cutting through the music like a knife. "You may be the eldest, but that doesn't mean you're fit to rule," he sneered, his eyes flashing. "You hide behind father's shadow, hoping his wisdom will cover your weakness." Adebayo's face darkened, and I could see the hurt in his eyes. But before he could respond, Olamide turned and stormed away, leaving behind an air of tension that no one could ignore. From that moment, our village became a battleground of whispers and suspicions, as people took sides in the feud that threatened to split Okoba. Days passed, and rumors began to spread. It was said that Olamide had been seen late at night, meeting with Baba Ifa, a priest who had always spoken against Oba Adigun. Some claimed that Olamide was planning to challenge his brother for the right to rule. Others whispered of strange meetings in the forest, where Olamide and his followers gathered in secret. As the village grew out, I watched all of this unfold, torn between my duty to record events and my desire to see our village at peace. Then, a woman arrived in Okoba. Her name was Adefolake, and she was as beautiful as she was mysterious. She had come from a faraway village, her beauty like a force that silenced rooms. Both Adebayo and Olamide were drawn to her, and soon, the whispers began anew, this time, of love and betrayal. Adefolake's presence was like oil poured on an already raging fire. It wasn't long before people began to notice that she seemed to spend time with both brothers, speaking in hushed tones and disappearing into the night. A growing unease settled over the village, and soon Adebayo and Olamide's rivalry reached new heights. Friends turned into enemies, and even families became divided over whom they supported. One evening, during a gathering, a fight broke out between the brothers. Words turned to blows, and the people watched in horror as the Oba's sons, the very men meant to lead and protect us, tore into each other like strangers. Oba Adigun, heartbroken and weary, could do nothing but watch as his sons shattered the peace of his reign. The true scandal erupted when it was discovered that Adefolake had been meeting secretly with not only the brothers but also with Baba Ifa. The village erupted in fury. People accused her of bringing bad luck, of using charms to divide us. But as much as they tried to blame her, we all knew that the seeds of discord had been sown long before her arrival. That night, under the light of the blood moon, a rare, ominous sign in our culture, Oba Adigun called a gathering. We all gathered beneath the great Iroko tree, waiting in tense silence as the king, his voice heavy with sorrow, addressed us. "My sons have let their pride blind them, but this is not just their fault," he began, his gaze sweeping over the crowd. "We have all let pride and envy take root in our hearts. Tonight, we must decide what kind of village we wish to be, one that is torn apart by pride, or one united by forgiveness and wisdom." Just then, Adefolake stepped forward, her face drawn and sorrowful. Her voice, soft yet clear, carried across the gathering. "I did not come to your village by accident," she admitted, eyes lowered. Baba Ifa sent me here with the hope of turning brother against brother, so that he could take control in the chaos. But what I found here changed me. This village has a strength, a unity, that I had never seen. I could not go through with his plan. And so I am here to reveal the truth. The crowd erupted, some shouting in anger, others stunned into silence. But Adebayo and Olamide, standing side by side for the first time in weeks, looked at each other with something new, understanding. Adebayo spoke first, his voice shaking with emotion. "Brother, let us not be the cause of Okoba's ruin," he said. "I have allowed my pride to poison my heart, but I will no longer let it blind me." Olamide, moved by his brother's words, took his hand. "We were foolish, both of us," he replied. "I only wanted to be seen, to be respected. But I see now that respect is earned, not taken." With those words, a heavy silence fell over the crowd, a silence that felt like the end of a storm. Slowly, people began to murmur, nodding to each other, as though they, too, were awakening from a long dream.